Hey guys, how are you? It's Jordy from Seven Eagle Group. I just wanted to thank you so much for taking a few minutes to jump on this live. I'm super excited to talk about this topic. It's one of my favorites, and that is how to leverage LinkedIn to an amazing post military career. Um, this is so exciting to me because there's so much room for error. So many people are not doing this correctly. And I think if you learn some of these tips and strategies today, it'll give you a huge competitive edge. All right. So, first of all, just a little bit about us at Seven Eagle. We launched with the mission to connect military talent to lucrative and rewarding careers. We help veterans, transitioning service members, military spouses. I didn't serve in the military. I wish I did. My dad did in World War II, um, and I dedicated this career of mine to him, and I absolutely love what I do every day. I can't wait to get up every morning to get after it. We have about 25 people on our team. We during the last 8 years, over 1,000 placements, so something we're super proud of. We focus on cybersecurity and tech, and dozens of great clients all over the country, like General Dynamics and Xerox and Toyota and tons of smaller companies as well. So as I said, the objective today is I want to show you how to use this really powerful tool to get hired quickly and then advance your career. It's going to stay with you throughout. So all right, first of all, if you don't have a LinkedIn premium account, you got to get one immediately. This is almost like a prerequisite if you want to have a professional career. And if you just Google LinkedIn for military, you'll see a link where you can get a free premium account. And I recommend that. It's a nice benefit that LinkedIn offers military. And what that does is it puts you on the radar of recruiters all over the world, people like us here at Seven Eagle Group, and then hiring managers at companies who are using this tool every day, multiple hours a day, to find talent to match to open positions. So if you're not on the site, nobody's going to find you. So get your profile, get it set up. I'm going to show you some tips today how to do a really awesome one, and then strive to be active with it. Don't set up a page, which so many people do. They set up a page and then they forget about it and they update it. The only time they update it is when they're in the market for another job, and that's not the way to use this to its fullest. So strive, 10 minutes a day. That's all you need. Build your connections. You're going to engage. I'm going to teach you how to engage and publish your own content, really add value. It's a networking site first and foremost. So you're there to not only receive help, but to give that as well. And listen, you work this correctly, you will have a super easy time at connecting with jobs, not just right now, whether you're first out of the military or one later after you've transitioned, but throughout your entire career. As I mentioned, very few people do this correctly. Very few. There's like a tiny percentage, I feel, who know how to use LinkedIn to its fullest. So if you just learn some of these strategies, you will be way ahead of everyone else. And what's crazy is so many people put their attention on the resume and they spend hours and hours writing and rewriting and hire consultants to write them for them. And they spend minutes on LinkedIn, and it is crazy. I would rather see you reverse that. Minutes on your resume, really work LinkedIn to its fullest, and you watch what happens. Because you got to remember, before you're going to get any interview offer, you can anticipate, the hiring team is going to check out your profile. And we've had candidates who've been hired in interviews, and then the hiring authority gets back to it and says, "Oh my gosh, we cannot hire this person. We just saw what some of the stuff they've done on Facebook or LinkedIn." So just anticipate it's coming. So you might as well make your page great. And don't forget this. This is a well-known stat that almost every job is filled by networking, by people people who know you. Only 2% of jobs across the country are filled by job boards, some random application coming in and them hire, and then that person getting hired. So, and then also it's very important that you're visible even when you're employed too, because that'll lead to your next job. you got one shot to make a great impression. So as the saying goes, you might as well make the most of yours, you know. Make sure your page is error free, no typos. Make sure it's grammatically correct, punctuation's correct. You want to show it your best. And then what I'm gonna talk to you today about is customizing your profile to the career you want. The idea of writing a general profile, it does not work. All right. And you got to keep it professional. This is different than Facebook, Instagram, and other social media sites. You're not coming onto LinkedIn to post a picture of what you had for lunch. All right. This is all professional. So the first step in building a great LinkedIn profile is you got to have that career focus. You got to determine now as best you can. It's going to probably change a lot over your career, but right now, for the immediate future, what is your dream job? What do you want to do? All right, because it's extremely important that what you want to do before that you understand this before you customize your profile and start networking. All right, so don't publish that generic profile giving the impression of, oh, I can do anything, I'm a jack of all trades. That does not work with hiring managers. People who are specialists are the ones who get hired. You know, you don't want to go in there thinking, oh, let me cast a wide net and try to appeal to as many recruiters and as many hiring authorities as possible. It does not work like that. People don't do searches and headhunting for generalists. They search for very specific skill sets and keywords. So make yours specific to your career. And if you're unsure what that career is for you, I did a pre-recorded live last week on that exact topic. But feel free to reach out to me if you need help, and I'll be happy to strategize with you to help you come up with that. All right. The top section of your LinkedIn page is probably the most important, because you got to remember, LinkedIn is like a resume in the eyes of a recruiter. People scan it. They're not sitting there reading word for word. They're scanning. They're taking a couple seconds to determine, do I want to stay or go? And if your top section, they call it like above the fold, before somebody has to start scrolling, if your top section is weak, they're going to leave, right? Here's an example of a page I thought that was good. Here's a Navy veteran who's in the real estate industry. So he did a nice banner at the top that you can tell it's real estate. He's got the patriotic feel with the flag, a nice professional cover photo of himself, a good title. So that's a good example of, I think, of a good top section. The headshot that you're going to use, the little circular picture of yourself. Look at the ones at the top. Do not put in a picture that looks like this. Too dark, not looking at the camera, way off in the future. Can't even see you. And then the worst of all is you don't even put a picture of yourself. So many people do that. I don't understand that. Compare those to the ones on the bottom. Very professional, smiling. Look how they're all smiling, wearing nice clothes. You don't have to wear the suit and tie. If you're a guy, dress codes have kind of gotten a little more casual over the last few years. But, I wouldn't recommend a t-shirt, but, a button-down shirt, a similar type top for a woman. You want to dress as if you are going on an interview, I feel, right? And it depends on the job you're going for too. If you're going to be, a machine operator wearing a t-shirt all day, don't wear a suit and tie to this picture, because it'll be a mismatch, and then vice versa. So pay attention to your headshot. You can hire. You don't even have to hire. You can go up to anyone who is good at photography, even if it's a professional, and just say, listen, is there any chance you would provide a complimentary headshot photo for me? I'll come to your studio. Almost any photographer I know, and I've met tons of them, are more than happy to do that for military. You can see like the difference, like the picture with the nice background and clear, and it just makes a big difference. So get a nice headshot of yourself. Oh wait, I bunched. Did I go too far? Nope. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Oh man. All right. So the connections. The next thing that you'll see when you on that top banner is this little. It's a little small here, but 2 connections for this one, 500 for this one. Again, it's instant credibility when people see the guy on the right and they're like, oh, wow, he knows a lot of people. A lot of people know him. He must be important compared to this one, Larry, who, probably set up the page and then disappeared. So it is important. And I'm a big fan of quality over quantity, but 2 is everyone knows 100 people that they can connect with, and I'll show you how. All right, next, contact info. So when you on that top banner, there's a little link. It says contact info right next to your picture. And if you click it, this is the one on the left here where I have that's what 99% of the people have a banner like that. I mean, info like that. They're afraid to show their contact info, which I don't get. This is a networking site. You want to be found. You got to make it easy for recruiters, for headhunters, for hiring managers to reach you. There's nothing more frustrating for us as recruiters when we see a profile on LinkedIn we really like and we want to call the candidate and we come to a page and we come to a thing like this, but it'll say open to work, open to opportunities, but they don't put themselves in the hiring authority's shoes and say, wait, how is this person going to contact me? You could try the messaging on LinkedIn, but that's not as effective as sending a text or a phone call. So don't be shy. If you're worried about privacy issues and somebody getting your email address, put your personal email address. Don't put a business email here. But if you're worried about that or your phone number, when you're in job hunt mode, just put it up. And then when you get your hired, you can take it down. I recommend keeping it up all the time. I've had mine up on the site for 25 years or however long the site has been, and not once has anybody ever abused that. So I'm a big fan of letting people contact you. All right. All right, the banner, like the one on the previous page where the real estate, I thought that was a good example. Here's another, I thought, good example. A woman, graphic designer, she's showing some examples of her work, her name, so I can tell instantly that it relates. She's a graphic designer. Her name is Emma, right? The guy above, he just didn't even bother to change the default banner that LinkedIn provides, and so many people are exactly like that. They do the same thing. And you're losing an opportunity for prime real estate, right? And if you don't have the ability to do your own sort of creative type banner, go on to Fiverr.com, and for $5 you can hire a professional and they'll do a great one for you. Make it custom, make it feel like it's you. That's what I like about this one. I could tell she did it, and that's her artwork because she's in it twice. You could also put text in the banner. You can't put an overlay of text, but it's got to be in the image. But it's great real estate, so please make use of that. The title is, again, this is so important, and LinkedIn gives you all these characters to write a nice title. So many people write something that's ridiculous. It has nothing to do with who they are, what they've accomplished, or where they want to be. So something like this on the right: accomplished, mission focused, U.S. Army cyber veteran, the Security Plus, eager to protect your company's data and network. If I'm a recruiter and I see that, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Be proud of your military too. A lot of military, I noticed, don't promote that they served, and that's what makes you guys unique and special, and very appealing to recruiters. Very appealing. Not all of them, but that's okay. You don't need all of them. You need a group of them to look at you and say, wow, he or she was trained by some of the best leaders in the country. So work on a good title. Clear and concise description of what you do, and mention you're in the market. I think LinkedIn also has a little button you can put. It says open to work, and I think it's like a little green bar that goes underneath your picture. Put that on too. Let people know you're available. All right, the about section. This is where you have an opportunity to talk about yourself. It's almost like a little summary of who you are. So provide a well-written overview of your professional life. Put a strong description of what you do and the value you add. And I like a casual tone. Don't do formal. Don't fill it with a lot of BS like world's best marketer, Don't do stuff like that. Just make it real, like you're talking to a buddy. Include your military experience. No jargon, no military jargon, but the benefits, why the military experience made you such a great candidate. And talk about your passion for this industry. That's so important, that passion. Um, one other one other thing before I get to that, I want to just mention, let me just go back a screen. So in the banner, this picture, LinkedIn just added last year this new feature, and they let you put a 30-second video in addition to your headshot, in addition to it. And it is awesome. I have it on mine. If you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see it. So it loads and it has the video, and you just click it, and I talk for 30 seconds. I would highly recommend you take advantage of that. It's free. You can just give a quick pitch, say, hey, I'm getting out of the military in a couple months, and I'm so excited to start on my next passion, which is going to be a career in, technology. And that's it. Just give somebody a glimpse of who you are. It's so much easier for a recruiter to quickly evaluate you if they could see you talk for a few minutes or for a few seconds. Okay. The next section down is activity. This is where LinkedIn tracks everything you're posting or engaging with. And you can see this first one, this is, again, very common. You go to somebody's activity, no activity, right? This one, that's what you want. You want this opportunity for someone to come onto your page and say, oh, wow, this person's engaged with their career focus. They're talking, they're adding value to other posts that are going on there. They're posting their own content. So you can be a thought leader. That's what you want. You want to be somebody who is active on this site. We just had an Army soldier get hired for a skill bridge opportunity. And one of the things that set him over the top for the employer was they said, oh my God, we went onto his LinkedIn page and he did all these videos, and we love that. We love that he took that initiative. And even if it's an industry you don't have any experience in yet, you can come up with something creative to share. Write an article about, my experience as a Navy veteran, breaking into cybersecurity, and whatever. Just help other people with your experience. Talk about something that interests you. Critique something in the industry. Give a shout out to somebody, whatever it is. Just be active, have lots of content. Just set a goal for yourself. Once a week, I'm going to post something and write a comment about it. All right. Experience. This is next. Again, very common. I see stuff like this where somebody just puts like where they worked and the years, and that's it. There's nothing under it, no description. You need to make this, it's got to duplicate your resume. You want and it could even be bigger than, you can have more content than what's on your resume, but you got to have it's got to be comprehensive. Don't put just the job title. A lot of times nobody knows what that is, but you got to write the bullet descriptions. Make sure they're the bullets that you use are measurable, and they talk about, your accomplishments and achievements. Again, leave out the military jargon. I like bullets because they're better than paragraphs. Again, it's just easier for me to skim a profile if I see bullets. So I recommend that. All the other sections, LinkedIn gives you the opportunity. I think there are 5 other sections below. There's a recommendation section, volunteering, skills, endorsements, accomplishments, I got recommendation twice. There are all these other sections, and so many people leave them blank. Fill it in as much. You got to look like you got a lot going on. Ask your commanding officer or fellow soldier or a buddy or anybody to provide recommendation for you. And you do the same for them. Get a few recommendations. I think this is the most important of all those. All right, so that's your profile. Once you get your profile set up, now you got to start leveraging this. And we're going to this is the strategy that I use, and it's extremely effective. All right. The strategy is you're going to reach out, you're going to connect to people in your chosen industry, you're going to request their advice, and then you're going to schedule an informational interview with them. And you're going to go slow. Do not ask somebody for a job right away. That's going to come much later. All right. But it's crucial with LinkedIn that you got to build this network of quality connections. Do not add strangers just to boost your numbers. Never do that. You want everyone you're connecting with to have some knowledge of who you are. Right. As you get further in your career, it becomes hard. Like I have, I don't know, 4,000 connections now. There's no way I know all these people, but when you're just starting out, you got to just focus on people who are in your industry, people who know you. So it's a real tight network. All right. Always LinkedIn lets you invite people in bulk. Never do that. There's a button that says invite your whole address book or something like that. Don't do that because you got to put yourself in the other person's shoes. You want them to feel special because you're asking them to connect. One at a time is the way to go. Never use that bulk option. All right. You're going to avoid the temptation to prejudge someone just on their title because you never know who knows who. Right. You might see somebody who looks really interesting. You want to connect with them, and then you see their title and they're a low-level employee. Don't prejudge. Don't say, oh, that person can't help me, because you never know who he or she knows. You never know what influence that person has. You never know, how that person might be able to help you. So just anyone who looks appealing, interesting, they're in your industry, try to focus it on your industry in your location where you want to be and invite them. All right. And then after each successful professional connect, then you're going to go for the informational interview. All right. All right. So the first step with this is you got to search. LinkedIn has, when you go into the bar up here, you type in the word people, the people box will come up, and then you're going to hit all filters right there. And then there are all these different criteria that you can search. What I recommend is a mix of veterans and civilians. All right, you're going to focus on a manager level and above, but don't discriminate if somebody looks interesting. And you're going to focus on your metro region where you want to live or where you're living now. Okay, so if you want the warm welcome from somebody, just go after somebody from your own branch. You can do past company right here. You can type in Air Force or Navy or Army. You can type all of them, but you're going to type in your branch. You're going to put in a keyword for the title of who this person might be. You can put in the location. You can put open to opportunity. There are a lot of different things that you can put where it will deliver a list of results of hundreds or thousands of people, right? And then that's what you want. Then you're going to go through those lists. You'll be able to quickly skim and determine who you want to add. Okay, so the next step is now you're going to connect. You're going to send the request. So LinkedIn makes it easy for people where you can just click a button and send this exact message. I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn. It'll merge your name. And probably 90% of the connect requests that I receive are using that default. And to me as a recipient, that tells me this person is lazy, doesn't know who I am, probably, and could care less. All right. Compare that to this one here that I wrote, which I like personalizing it 2 to 3 times. I like writing the person's name, even though it's going to say the person's name right above it and you don't need it. I like writing it again. Why? Because it shows him that I took the time to write a personal note. I merge his name. I like to merge their branch if I'm writing to military. I like to merge their company name. And it takes seconds. This is basically a template, right? That I'm going to copy. I paste it into the next one. I change the first name. I change the branch, and I change the company name. 15 seconds later, I got another connect request out, and Owen is going to receive that and say, oh, wow, this guy took a few minutes to check me out. and now he's writing a professional connection request to me, I'm going to say yes. And if you do this correctly, you should get about 90% connect back to you. If you do it correctly. If you do it like this top example, you'll get very few. The bottom one, you'll do real well, right? Because you're reaching out to someone who is in your branch or who also served or is in an industry and you're showing a passion for that industry or is in your hometown. And those do well. They really do. Don't make this mistake. This is the number one mistake people make who are looking for jobs. They'll connect to me and they'll say, oh, hi, Jordy. Hey, do you guys have any jobs over there? Hey, can you help me get hired? Hey, I can do anything. Don't do that. You got to go slow. It's like you're dating. You got to walk before you run. That's why I like this message. Would love to connect and join your professional network. That's it. Number one. That's number one. Your number one goal is to get them to connect back. Because if you send a connection request and the person declines it, you can never message them again. You're blocked. So it's crucial to get them in your network, because once they're in your network, like I said, I have 3,000 or 4,000 in mine. Now, if I send one message, it's going to go to all 3,000 or 4,000. They have the opportunity to see it. I can message any of them all day long if I want. But if they reject my connect request, I'm done. It's like you're blacklisted. So really take time to write something that you're comfortable with and use that. You'll have a lot of success. All right, next step, they're going to connect back. And then again, another personal note that you're going to write to them. Hey, I truly appreciate the connect. Any chance we could schedule a casual, is the key word there, informational call. I'd love to hear your career advice you might have for me. My plan is to work as a SOC analyst when I ETS in September. It's super helpful to hear how others successfully transitioned. Let me know day of time and I'll send you an invite. Okay. So just a very personalized note asking nicely for a quick call just to get advice. Remember, advice. Don't ask for a job. This is informational. Okay. He's going to say, yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to do that. All right. Then just go right at him with a time. Don't say, when would you like to meet? Just pick a time and send it to him. Give him a couple options if you want, but take control of that and be in charge. Lead. Okay. Get yourself a free Zoom account if you don't have one. Give them the direct link. Don't have passwords if you can. If you have a password on your account, make sure to put it in here and just give them the one-click link to get in. You can even better send them a calendar invite if you have their email address. Okay, put your phone number in there too. Sometimes a lot of people have a hard time connecting for whatever reason. You want to give them a chance to reach you. All right, try to meet on Zoom because avoid the temptation to try to build a relationship with somebody over email or over a phone. It's not the same when you can see them and you'll get so much more out of it if you can do them on video. And everybody is comfortable now with video, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, now you're in the call, the Zoom call. Be genuine. People don't like flattery. They don't like, they don't want to feel like, oh, you got them on the call and now you're saying, hey, do you guys hiring now? Hey, can I give you my resume? Don't do that. Avoid that. Be genuine. You're there to ask questions, to seek advice, to build that relationship because this person could be very influential in your career. You need mentors. You need people who can help you. So you're going to ask them questions. Everyone loves talking about themselves. Hey, what did you do in the military? What was that experience like? And have that chit chat, have that common bond with them. Then you're going to ask them, why did you choose this career? What do you recommend for me? Do you think this is a good path I should take? Are there any specific areas I should do? What should I do to prepare? Anything now I should train? You're asking all this content because I guarantee you when you do a lot of these, two things are going to happen. One is you're going to get hired. And I'll talk about that in a second when you do a lot of these informational calls. Number two is you're going to zigzag a little. You're going to change paths. You might start out right now saying, oh, I'd really love to be a SOC analyst. And then you do 10 of these informational interviews. And all of a sudden you're going to be a pen tester now because of the advice you got from all these influential people who have walked in your footsteps before. All right. This is very important. Nobody does this. No one. 1 out of 100 people will send a thank you note. Do it. It makes a huge impression. Go down to the store. They cost $1. Write a note, put an old-fashioned stamp on it, and mail it to them. Personalize that note. It makes a huge impact. Again, you're just demonstrating to these people how much you want this opportunity, how appreciative you are of them taking 15 minutes to spend with you and share this incredible lifelong wisdom that they have about the career you want. And then this is another big one. Keep in touch. You're going to hit it off with some people more than others, and you got to keep in touch with them. Send them a Christmas card, call them every once a quarter, pick up the phone and call them. Follow them, comment on stuff they're doing online, because I'm telling you, what will happen is you will get people who want to take you under their wing, who love this mentorship, veterans and civilians alike. You might even get a better response from civilians who are just so excited to repay in a very small way your service. They can feel like they're doing their part and they're doing something nice to give back. So go after people. Aim high too. Don't be scared of going after a CEO. People want to help. You got to let them. But if you don't ask, you're never going to get help. This is not the time to be bashful or nervous or feel awkward. Those are all natural tendencies, but you got to fight through that. And once you have your first informational interview, you're going to love it. Do one with me if you want to practice. I'll do one with you. All right. Because here's what happens when you build a network. Every day of the week, there is a company in your industry, multiple companies, who are struggling to fill positions every day. Otherwise, groups like ours wouldn't be around. We wouldn't be in business if companies could easily fill these positions. You have to anticipate and understand that any company is going to have an opening at one time or another. It might be today, it might be a week from now, it might be 3 months from now. But if they are a company of more than a few people, they are going to have a need for people. They're going to have a need to grow, because at any given time, somebody might quit, somebody might get fired, they might win a new account. You never know. And pretty much we talk to CEOs all day long, and that 80-20 rule applies too. If they could get rid of the 20% of their lowest performers, they would. You are going to give them an opportunity to take the spot of one of those low performers. They might not be advertising that opening, but you're going to make them see that it's in their interest to make a spot for you. All right. So be visible, be out there, build this network, and you watch what happens. Watch. I want to talk about this success story. I know that might be a little small to read, but this is an active duty service member who I just met actually last week. His name is Zach. Really, really great guy. And he's getting ready for his skill bridge opportunity. And we chatted the other day, and I asked him what he's doing. He said, I got an offer from a big pharmaceutical company, and I'm also looking, I think he said, like mortgage business. And it was just sort of an average conversation. There was nothing that stood out to me about him. And then I said to him, I go, forget all that stuff. What do you want to do with your life? What's your dream? What's your career? And then we got to talking, and he said, I love hunting. I love it. I love it. I love it. I go every time I get, every minute I can, I'm hunting. And he wrote me this note, and I said, think about that. And he wrote me this note the next morning. It's too small on my screen right now, but I think it says, anyway, I'll just summarize. He pivoted his whole path. He went from doing a job that he was not excited about to one that he can't stop thinking about. And he has done so much work just in the last week alone at really thinking through what would be this dream job, exactly what role would he be playing. And he's identified 3 or 4 companies in the hunting industry that he'd love to work for and exactly what he'd like to do. And now he's revamping his LinkedIn page to be all about hunting. It has a big hunting banner at the top. And he's starting to build his network, and we're working together to connect, where he's connecting to all these different professionals who work in this enormous industry of hunting, and he's setting up informational interviews. And I guarantee you, I would bet anything that within 60 days, he is going to have the dream job he's wanted. He's going to love it. And he's going to get hired because he's going to show up to those interviews with just so much passion and excitement and energy that it's a no-brainer for the hiring authority to pick him over anybody else who comes in for that interview, who is just going through the motions and is like, oh yeah, what do you guys do here? Zach is going to know everything about these companies when he's interviewing. He's going to know more than probably a lot of people who work at these companies. And it's going to be a slam dunk. I would bet anything that he is going to land a job that he's going to love. And then what excites me the most, this is why I love what I do every day. Like, if I could help Zach get on this next chapter of his life, right? The next, 20, 30 years of his post-military career, doing something he loves and he's excited about and passionate about, man, that's awesome. And you guys deserve that. Everybody deserves to have that type of professional career. There's so many crappy jobs out there. Don't take a job because of the money. You can find money in any industry, and he'll make so much more money in the hunting industry, I feel, than he would of working for this top pharmaceutical company, because he's got this passion. He's got this excitement and energy that he doesn't have for working at a pharmaceutical company. It might be a big name, but it's not the same. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some action steps to do. Number one, get that focus. Like Zach got hunting. What is it for you? Determine what it is. A good test, a good question to ask yourself is, if money wasn't an object and I had to work my ass off every day for 10 hours a day because I had all the money in the world, what would I do? How would I spend those days? And what are your hobbies, your interests, your loves, or their sports, or their music? Is it art? What is it that gets you fired up every day? What's your passion? Whatever that is, that's where I want you to focus your career. Prove that profile page. It's easy. Spend an hour and you can make a huge improvement on your page. Do that ASAP. Make one connect request a day. I'm trying to make this so easy, because once you start doing it, it will snowball. Trust me, that's what happens with networks. One connect. Spend 10 minutes, find somebody. Wow, this person looks really interesting. And send a personalized connect request. Then what's going to happen after a week or so, you're going to have 5 of those out. You're probably going to get 4 back, and then start knocking them off. 1 informational interview per week. That's it. If you do more, great, but just keep your goals small. You don't have to go bigger. Get in front of somebody on Zoom and ask questions. Engage posts to help other military vets and job seekers. That's crucial. That makes you that active user. Okay. And then connect to me anytime. If you want me to critique your profile, I'm happy to do it. It's just my opinion, or have other people do it, but I'm happy to help out there and give you my advice. And then, as always, anytime you need to chat or discuss your strategy, I'm always here. There's my my calendar. So thank you guys very much for attending. If you're not on live and you're watching a recorded version, please leave some comments. I always get back to everyone. And thank you so much.